Okay, so I had a student request that they wanted to know how to do question 10 from the textbook, and I can see why. It's a nice, complex question going on here. So I thought I would just make a quick video for everyone. All right, so when I first look at this, I can see that um, my point O is there, and I'm asked to determine S, so this side length here. Which circle properties did you use? Okay, so we are definitely, as soon as we see that, we know that there are two chords. There's one here called AB, and there's another here, AE. Okay, and we can see that there are lines drawn from the center out to these chords. So that makes these perpendicular bisectors because the theorem is that if the diameter, which we can extend this, so this is a diameter, bisects, is a perpendicular bisector to the chord. Okay, so based on that, I have two perpendicular bisectors happening. I have this guy, this one, and I have this one. So that means that this equals this because it bisects it. And this guy, I'm going to do two notches to show that it's different from the one notch. This guy are equal. Okay, so right away that tells me I know that this side is 5, this side is 5. So a key part of doing these questions is writing down, even if it doesn't automatically apply, writing down as much as you can about the question, and then maybe it'll help you. So this guy would be 5.5, and this side here would be 5.5. Okay, so and I can use decimals in this scenario also because it's an exact value. I'm not approximating the decimal. It is actually 0.5. It is a half. All right, so the things that I'm going to need in order to figure out this S here, because that's what I'm asked to find, okay, I am going to need to create, I would like to create a triangle that includes that line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in a radius here. Okay, so then I have this triangle that I can use to help me find S, because I have this side. I have a right angle, so I'm going to be using Pythagorean theorem. But I don't have my radius. And I need my radius in order to use the Pythagorean theorem because I need at least two of the sides. So I'm going to look to these two triangles here and see if I can use one of those to help me. Now, I notice that this guy here is connected to this triangle. And in this triangle, I do have two known sides. So I'm going to just draw this guy out here just so that it's easier for me to see. And I know that this short side is a 3. My hypotenuse, which is across from the right angle, okay, is my radius that I do not know yet. And this bottom part here is 5.5. Okay, so this is an ongoing issue I'm seeing with lots of students is not plugging into the Pythagorean theorem correctly. So it's your two sides squared. So 3 is squared. So you got to be clear on what your hypotenuse is. And 5.5 squared is equal to my r squared. Okay, so I'm going to quickly plug that into my calculator and I can go 3 squared plus 5.5 squared equals So that's going to give me my 39.25 is equal to r squared. And I have to always remember I'm actually looking for r. So I would have to, whoops, my snipping tool popped up there. Didn't mean that to happen. So square root that, square root that. So then r is equal to the square root of 39.25, and which is 6 point. Now I'm going to have to use decimals here. Otherwise, I'd have to leave it in this form. And I would prefer it if they put it into the question saying, write it to whatever decimal place, because originally in this question, they actually have no decimals. So I need permission to use decimals usually. So I would have liked them to do that. So anyways, so 6.3, I'm going to do it to one decimal place, ends up being my radius. Okay, so if 6.3 is my radius, now I need to be careful because I actually want to keep as many decimals here as possible so that I'm not approximating it. So I'm actually going to maybe do it to 3 decimal places just so I'm more accurate, because I need to use this now in this other triangle. Okay, so let's redraw this triangle here. Okay, so this triangle, my short side is the S, my radius is the hypotenuse. Okay, and now I could write my radius as this, and that would be more exact, but this will be fine. So, and then my base is going to be 5. Okay, so now I'd need to use the Pythagorean theorem to solve this guy. And I'm going to use my 2 sides, square those, and set that equal to, now if I want to be exact, I could use this, because this number squared just undoes the square root. So I do know that r squared is equal to that. So I'm actually going to use that just to be more precise. Okay, so I know r squared is that. So then I can go s squared is equal to 39.25 minus 25, because 25 is 5 squared. And then I would end up with 39.25 minus 25 is 14.25, and then I would have to square root that, which ends up being 3.77. So I'm going to round that to 3.8. Okay, cool. So I go back to the question and I go, did I answer the question? Let's see. Determine each value of S. And I did. I determined the value of S, but then it also says which circle properties did you use? So I used really a perpendicular bisector theorem and the Pythagorean theorem. So those were the 2 properties that I used. Okay. So I am going to stop the video there and then come back to question B, just so that the videos aren't too long. Okay.